The secret of the American harvest. Huge numbers and little-known stories. Have you ever imagined a field of hundreds of hectares, where people harvest millions of fruits and vegetables every day, all operating like a precise clock between the sunlight and the sound of machinery? Today, we will step into that world, a journey to discover how Americans harvest millions of tons of agricultural products every year. Crispy lettuce fields, ripe cherry orchards, or peanut fields full of fruit will appear before your eyes with a surprising harvesting process. Lettuce, yellow leaves, in the early morning in California, where more than 80% of the lettuce in the U.S. is produced just a few weeks after planting. The fields are covered with cool green, but there is a strange thing. People only pick lettuce in the early morning. Why? Because that is when the plant is coolest, contains the most water, crispy, sweet and fresh. A team of 20 to 30 workers walk along a harvesting line that stretches across the field. Each person cuts, sorts, and stacks each lettuce head on a tray, a meticulous job that requires a keener eye than a machine. Then everything is cooled at 1 degree Celsius in a vacuum system, like a quick surgery to preserve the freshness. Cherries, each fruit is a work of art. You wouldn't believe it. But cherry picking is a marathon. It takes just 90 days and hundreds of people. The red fruits hang high in the air, requiring ladders and extreme dexterity to pick, because one small mistake can damage the tree and ruin the following year's crop. The average worker picks 580 pounds of cherries a day. But no one complains, because each fruit is a precious achievement. After picking, each fruit is measured for sweetness, firmness, and graded by size, a process as rigorous as a diamond factory. Peaches, when red, speaks like cherries. American peaches are a summer icon, with more than 1 billion pounds harvested each year. But did you know? The sign of ripeness is not only the bright red color, but also the wrinkles around the stem. Like the smile of an old person, each peach tree produces more than 50 pounds of fruit, and farmers have to choose the right time. Not too early, not too late. All picked peaches are dipped in a 2 degrees Celsius water bath to stop the ripening process and preserve the sweet flavor. Wild blueberries, green gems in the Rocky Mountains. Have you ever heard of wild blueberries in Maine? These small fruits grow in the middle of barren land, but have such a rich flavor and nutritional value that they are called superfoods. Blueberries aren't grown everywhere, and they aren't harvested in the same unusual way as here. On the hillsides, farmers use hand rakes to brush each fruit off the bushes. On the flatlands, machines come into play, cutting costs by nearly 50%. But either way, all the blueberries must be processed, sorted, and packaged within hours. Of harvest time is the key to freshness. Pumpkins, a holiday icon come October. The fields of Illinois are awash in bright orange. It's not just harvest time, it's pumpkin season. More than 400 acres of pumpkins are picked by hand, each with a long stem attached to extend shelf life. Despite their weight, pumpkins must be handled gently because transportation is just as important as harvesting. In some places, farmers use machines to speed things up. But for fruit destined for display and export, everything is done by hand. Cranberries, the fruit that floats on water. Have you ever seen a field of cranberries that are red with water? That's how Americans harvest cranberries, a fruit that only blooms around Thanksgiving. When they're ripe, the swamps are flooded, and machines gently knock the fruit off, leaving it floating on the surface like millions of rubies. The sight is not only magical, but also incredibly efficient. Just gather around, suck up all the floating fruit, and then process it. This is one of the most iconic harvesting methods in the world. Peanuts, treasures, under the ground. Finally, visit the peanut fields of the American South, where more than 5.5 billion pounds of nuts are harvested each year. Unlike other crops, peanuts grow underground, so harvesting is an art. The peanut digger will cut the roots, turn the plant upside down, and let it dry in the sun for a few days. Then, the second step is truly magical. The machine will drive the entire plant and separate the seeds from the shells and classify them. Just like that, thousands of tons of peanuts are transported to the factory, dried, cleaned, and shipped across the United States. Conclusion: agriculture, a picture both giant and delicate, whether using modern machinery or the meticulous hands of workers. The American agricultural industry still maintains the same spirit, productivity, quality, and respect for each gift of nature. Each harvest season is not only a busy occasion, but also a sacred moment where farmers reap the rewards of their labor, and we receive delicious food in return. Have you ever thought that behind a cherry or a peanut is a whole team of farmers? Dozens of people and machines working through the night. Now you know, how do Americans harvest millions of tons of fruit and vegetables every year, with a tour that will leave you amazed. Fields stretching to the horizon, giant machines that can replace hundreds of workers, and fruits picked at the perfect moment to retain their natural flavor. Today, we will travel across the United States, from sunny California to sweet corn farms in Minnesota, from cherry groves to underground peanut fields, to discover how American farmers harvest millions of pounds of produce every day. And the question is, can you guess how they do it? California, the carrot machine of the world. You know that California alone supplies more than 87% of the entire U.S. carrot crop. Imagine a machine that can harvest nearly 200,000 pounds of carrots per hour, the equivalent of 280 workers. The numbers sound like science fiction, but they are a reality in American carrot fields. In places like Washington that don't have modern machinery, the job still relies on migrant workers, and they are the backbone of modern artisanal agriculture. Sweet corn, from field to box. Have you ever eaten canned corn? Did you know, in just a few hours, millions of ears of sweet corn from Minnesota and Washington are harvested, packaged, and shipped to processing plants? From late July to September, modern machines can harvest nearly 1 million pounds of sweet corn per hour, and each ear must reach the ideal moisture level between 70 and 74% before being cut. Not just eaten fresh, most of the corn is used to produce processed foods, bringing in more than $830 million in revenue each year. Wheat in the Palouse. When nature and machines clash, the Palouse, a land that stretches across Idaho, Oregon, and Washington, is one of the most beautiful and fertile places in the United States. It is also a battlefield of fire. A burnt-out harvester can cost a farmer up to $600,000. Why? Because during peak season, every minute of delay means tons of wheat lost to rain, rats, or mold. Not enough storage. People pile up mountains of wheat outdoors, waiting for prices to rise before selling cherries. Expensive fruits that require human hands. Cherry trees are very fussy. Each fruit must be picked by hand. Otherwise, the tree will be damaged, and the following year's crop will fail. In Washington state, from June to September, thousands of migrant workers, mostly from Mexico, work tirelessly from dawn to dusk. They can pick more than 500 pounds of cherries a day. But they have to be extremely gentle, because even the slightest scratch will cause the fruit to be discarded. Grapes, a challenge in 40-degree heat. Did you know that? In the summer, many people are still willing to stand in the intense heat of California to pick grapes. In giant vineyards, hundreds of people are carefully trained to recognize which grapes are ripe and which should be discarded. Hand-picking grapes not only helps preserve the sweetness, but also protects the vines for the next season. Almonds, one shake. Billions of fruits fall. If you think harvesting almonds involves picking one fruit at a time, you'll be surprised. A special machine will hug the tree tightly and shake it extremely hard. In just a few seconds, billions of almonds rain down. But what if there's a bird's nest in the tree? The consequences might make you laugh or cringe. California now grows more than 1.3 million acres of almonds, accounting for 80% of the world's production. Louisiana sugarcane, a ton-heavy machine racing against time since October in Louisiana. A 400,000-acre field has been transformed into a giant construction site. Harvesters dump millions of tons of sugarcane into trucks to transport them to the factory, and so on. 1.5 million tons of sugar are produced each year. What's special? Sugarcane is only grown in certain regions because of its harsh climate requirements. And not everyone knows that nearly 50% of America's sugar comes from sugarcane. The rest comes from sugar beets. Peanuts, a journey underground, and, like any other plant, peanuts grow underground. So harvesting involves two steps: digging and turning the plant over to dry, using machines to collect, shell, clean, and transport it to the factory. Some farms work overnight because the timing of harvest affects quality and price. The U.S. currently harvests more than 5.5 billion pounds of peanuts each year, making it the seventh most valuable crop in the country. How many can you guess? Which machine can replace hundreds of people in just 1 hour? Why do people shake almond trees? Why are grapes, cherries, and lettuce still harvested by hand? If you find these interesting, leave a comment and share your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel to continue discovering untold stories of modern agriculture in the U.S., where technology, people, and nature blend to create miracles every harvest season.